Okay, it is 7:13 on a Wednesday, and that pretty much sums up everything. I all of a sudden just want to paint my cupboard. It's been something I've wanted to do. I'm bothered to do it now for some reason. So I'm just gonna measure out my wall. I'm gonna see what's up. I have already found a pattern that I like, and we're just gonna roll with it. Let's just see. It might come out really shit, or it might come out really good. If I like how it comes out, we'll do all the rest of the cupboard from top to bottom. I'm not about to give a proper intro yet because I don't even know if I'm gonna like this yet, so let us go. We're gonna start real easy by measuring out this cupboard. And we're gonna realize very quickly that this cupboard is not what it seems. Shocked. I feel like I've been betrayed. This isn't a square. It's a rectangle. Okay, so that was the most stupid way I've taken that pen out ever. Now, I like this, but I want to add these to the edges of it just to make it look more interesting. So I'm going to tediously count 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. The next step is literally just to take this and to measure out the lines that I have calculated. So let's go. This grid was a nuisance and a half, let me tell you. Now, you'd think a level would be helpful, and it should have been, but maybe I just don't know how to use it properly because my lines were not straight the whole way through. My arm's tired already. So it is the next day. I have finished my grid, as you can see. And I am probably going to try paint the outline very quickly because I do need to go in about an hour and a half out. So let's hope this goes well, because if it doesn't, I ruined my entire cupboard. Because I'll just have to, like, I don't know, sand it, peel it off. I hope I won't have to. I think I will like it. But that is the goal.
A few moments later.
Okay, so actually what I just realized is that I am going to probably mark out the outline first, because I'm going to get lost once I start painting. So let us get in the center. Okay, this is the middle. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. I need to find your side. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I'm never not by your side. Your side. Your side. Just keep doing that until they have done it. Delicious. Delicious. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm gonna have like pencil everywhere. I already bloody know. The silence of concentration at its finest. As tedious as this was, I must say that I'm very happy I did it. If I hadn't done it, I would have been so lost when it came to painting the outline, just because I feel like you really do need to get a sort of starting point when you are doing a pattern piece. Otherwise, you just are going to get lost straight away. And as you can see, even with the outline, I was already screwing up, so necessary. Is this outline taking a lot longer than anticipated? Absolutely. Is it going to be worth it? Also, absolutely. To some extent, I will say that this is quite therapeutic, and I hope it was just as therapeutic for the fly. Especially once you get into the groove of like how many lines of shading you're gonna do in a box, and just put some good music on, and it's just such a good way to keep your hands busy and your brain thinking. A problem that we have is that I need to make this color, okay? Now, this entire pattern is full of colors, which I do not have a base, just, you know, in a bottle of. So every single color I'm gonna have to hand mix, which, you know, doesn't sound like the funnest thing on the planet, because I hate having to color match, but I am going to try. So I'm going to start off with the base, if I can open it, of blue. Now obviously we're using blue because it's a blue color, so why not put that in there. As an outline color, I want it to be You know what, that might have been a lot. Like, I'd rather have less than more. I'm gonna actually add just a tiny bit of green. You're probably, why is it in a weird little jam jar? That's because I mixed like all this paint a while ago and I never used all of it and I didn't want to waste it. So in a little jam jar it goes for saving. Now again, the problem is if I don't have a lot of this paint, it's gonna be a problem. Okay, like I'm literally gonna scrape up the tiniest bit of black. That is a really good color to start with, really. I will admit, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm scared this is like gonna go to shit and all of my planning is gonna be crap. So let's start at the bottom to see if the color is what we want it to be. I don't know if it's like the material of the cupboard or if this is the paint opacity. More black maybe, I think. I did end up using a brush that I think was a little too large for the boxes that I had made. So later on I will end up swapping it just to make it easier when it comes to the intricacies. Maybe this fly is going to find itself its next calling. It doesn't have to buzz buzz. And the worst part is that, like, obviously I did the grid myself by hand and it ain't equal everywhere. So I have a few bits that I'm not like the happiest with, but that's okay. That's what happens when you draw a grid by hand. I'm hoping that I can maybe not bring too much attention to it as I'm telling you that I've made the mistake, but you know, we'll see how it rolls. So I'm gonna stop talking to you right there because I need to concentrate on those lines, but I will show you when we do the next bit. We're halfway, okay. When I do, literally, I'm wiping off every bit of like guidance I had. Ooh, that was quite straight. Oh, but now the problem is this mirror is constantly going to be giving away my behind the scenes, so every single time I have a second camera up, you're gonna know, okay, it's a mirror, there's nothing I can do about it, but I needed to get those angles. So this is where we have stopped with the blue outline. Okay, so it's looking mega nice already, if I'm honest. It looks so crisp, even though looking up close I can see, oh, I'm gonna need to save that actually. Hold on. Now that is fixed, we can officially say that the blue outline is done. So it's just going to be the case of me mixing all the other colours and filling it in like a nice colouring in book. So we will wait. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to have a lunch break because I've been doing this for ages now. So yeah, we will be back when I'm ready to paint the next section. We are going to be moving on to the second colour, which is this blue. Without further ado, let's get to it. I was doing this project as a post-holiday get back into art thing, so any mess that is present, which I am going to blur out, I apologize in advance, but I was doing this between days of being busy. I'm so happy for Mr. Fly. He wants to be a painter. He could be the next Ian Fleming, maybe. But instead of painting landscapes of the countryside, he can paint the landscape of being an annoying fruit fly in London heat. Just all over your fruit. Isn't that lovely?
Right. Multitask.
Right.
How is it ever a bad day at Costco? That's true.
It's true. Moving on. This X-ray could...
Well, here comes day number 3 of me doing this painting. And, well, I did think this was going to take a lot less time than it did. But I was a busy girl. I'm going to be honest, I had a lot to do. But as you did see earlier on, I did try to mix that brown and I came quite short on the colour I wanted. So I did have to remix this, and I will say it was definitely one of the harder colours to get correct. But once I had it, it all worked out and we got to painting. And here we are cruising off into day 4. I was happily moving on to the last colour of the piece. And in this project, I actually did test out a little DIY, a little tip that people have given on the internet, and that was to put your acrylic paint in the fridge. And I will say I was shocked. It did work. My paint didn't dry up and it worked the next day. But it does mainly work when the paint is quite thick. I personally like to water down my paint, so it was quite thin in the tray, which meant that when I pulled it out from the fridge, it looked as if it had solidified and hardened. But because I usually do spritz my paint with some water to reliquify it, when I kept doing this, it kept sort of liquefying more and more until it became a regular paint rather than the weird fridge hardened paint. So it didn't quite set all the way. I can't even tell you what the state of it was, but it all worked out for the better and it allowed me to finish this project across all the days that I needed to. My main goal constantly was to finish a colour a day, but again, with my timings, I couldn't do so. So the fridge hack was absolutely beneficial. And I'm giving the hack a 10 out of 10. I haven't tried it for other paints, but for acrylics, perfect. Now back to the painting. I can't even explain to you how satisfying it was to finally see all of these lines go away. Officially, I'm at the point where all the colours are done, okay? It's looking banging. I love the way it looks, but one thing is bothering me. I did the dark blue outline first, which is across the whole piece, but when I did it, I didn't realise how much water and how faint I made it. So from a distance, it's great. It looks very put together, but really up close, you can really see the separations for those outlines. So as you can see, the outlines here are super faint and you can see every single brush stroke. I'm thinking to make it super cohesive, I should go back with a second layer. As much as I really don't want to do that, I feel like it's going to make it actually look really good. That's the next thing I'm going to do. It's the last thing until I use Mod Podge to cover up the whole thing. And I'm crossing all my fingers that the paint doesn't chip off as time goes. But we'll see how that rolls and I'll probably give an update later on. But off we go. I didn't film the entirety of me repainting the lines just because it is a bit tedious. You've seen me do the outline already, but here's just a sort of comparison where you can see the difference between the really sharp lines with the second layer and the really thin ones from the first layer. So I do think it was definitely a necessity. It improved the whole piece tenfold, and as much as I hated it, it needed to be done. I am officially done with all of the painting of this cupboard piece. As you can see, the next step is just to Mod Podge it so we can seal it and it doesn't rip off, because I've already torn off the colour about 5 times just from opening this cupboard. So let's protect that baby so that it lasts a while. I don't even know where to start really. I think I'm just going to do the front and then I'll do the sides. I'm going for a matte Mod Podge just because I like the way it looks just flattened. I don't want it to have a shimmer. So hopefully... From the last time that you saw me, I ended up doing actually 2 layers of Mod Podge to really secure in all of that paint onto the door. I loved the project so much that I am planning a part 2 to start doing the top shelf. Now I also think I will be doing the lower shelves as well. They are smaller, so there will be a bit of planning needed to be done, but I do think that this will be quite a fun series to do. So I really hope that you enjoyed the video, and I know at the start I did have a bit of a Debbie Downer attitude, but with the end of this project, this really brought me in to just enjoying having a really cute small project to do. And I do have a couple of other ideas planned for future videos, so do stay tuned. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, a comment, please subscribe, click the bell notification, please share this video with anyone that you think would love to see this video. Otherwise, I have been Nice Schultger. Thank you so much for watching, and let's get to the final shots of the cupboard.